Welcome back to the Tech Coach Corner YouTube series presented by Dyknow. I'm Tiara Lustig, your host, and today I am talking with Bruce Reicher about his book Scripted. Scripted is a book for educators to learn how to create a media program or integrate media into your curriculum, no matter what you teach and what kind of instruction you practice. So it's a great conversation with Bruce, really great tips on how to integrate media into your curriculum. Before we jump into the episode, I just want to remind everyone to subscribe to Dyknow's YouTube channel so you never miss an episode from Tech Coach Corner or the Dyknow Digest. And don't forget to follow us on all of our social media. We recently announced our upcoming digital event, the National Student Engagement Summit. So I encourage you all to go to our website and register for the summit there. It's going to be a great conversation with some leading educators about how you can increase student engagement during this time of remote and hybrid learning. I think that's all I have to plug today. So without further ado, let's jump into our conversation with Bruce. Welcome back to Tech Coach Corner, everyone. I'm Tiara Lustig, your host, and today I'm joined by Bruce Reicher. Bruce, would you mind giving a brief introduction to yourself before we jump in?
Sure. Thanks so much for having me. I've been an educator for 25 years, and the past 14 years I've been a middle school technology teacher in northern New Jersey, right outside of Manhattan. And what I teach is in 6th grade digital citizenship, 7th grade coding, 8th grade video production. And I'm lucky enough to have built a TV studio in our school in a classroom. And the 8th grade students do a live show every single day of the year.
That's awesome. That's a huge achievement, especially with this remote learning that we've been in. Well, I know you just launched a book called Scripted. I would love to talk to you a little bit more about what the book contains, kind of what tips are in the book, and then maybe any tips that you can give people for media, audio production, video production in the classroom and during remote learning.
Well, sure. I mean, the first thing about the book, which is really cool, is the story behind it. I wrote the book with Randall Toms, who's an elementary teacher in Indianapolis, and Paula Neidlinger, who is a middle school teacher in Plymouth, Indiana, which is right outside of Notre Dame. And the three of us met on Twitter 5 years ago. Our classes have communicated, shared scripts. We all have TV shows, and we reviewed each other's shows. And Paula's classes, the Indiana students have been on in New Jersey and vice versa. And about 2 years ago, Paula approached me and said, well, what do you think if the three of us put our thoughts together to come up and write a book about media in the classroom? And the initial part of it was we just couldn't find anything like this. Like, we could find books on broadcasting that were more geared towards college and video production. But frankly, a lot of the books were 2005, 2010, which doesn't seem that old, but technology moves so fast that they were kind of outdated very quickly. So we got together 2 years ago in October 2018, and frankly, the first couple months was fun. We didn't write anything because we were like, what microphone do you use? What tripod do you use? We're picking each other's brains. And eventually we got down to writing and outlining the book. And the premise of the book is that anybody can create media. You don't have to be a media teacher in order to create media. You need to teach your curriculum first, and then you find the tool next. And if you're not sure exactly what to do with the tool, my number one tip would be ask the students. You know, you could use this as extension activities, as choices that you could give them. Do you want to write the report? Do you want to do a Google slideshow? Or do you want to make a video about the topic, or make a commercial or a podcast? And just start small would be one thing that I would also tell people. I've been in this school for 14 years, and over time, we've built it up to a 10-minute live show. But in the very beginning, you know, we didn't have as many students, and we would have one person on air instead of 6. And then over time, you know, build it up. So start small, build it up. And the other nice thing about the scripted book is we really focus a lens on that. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands to go get all this special equipment. The way things are set up now, as long as you have any device, a phone, an iPad, a Chromebook, a computer, as long as it has a microphone and also something that could record you, along with a video camera built in, that's all you need. You know, the little webcam, the little, 6 dots that are on my MacBook Pro that can record my voice, that really is all you need. And it's more about storytelling, curriculum development, brainstorm, plan, come up with something creative, and find out what your students could do. And I think it is a little bit of a misconception. You know what? I don't have $5,000 to like start this program. There's no way if I'm a social studies teacher that I could do media in the classroom, where you could take probably any topic that you study, have the kids come up with some type of skit from that time period, film it in black and white, and you might have a really rich project that you could do. And it really does lead to better understanding instead of just give the students the information, have them regurgitate it, back on the test. And the final point in the book, which is right at the end, but it's really important, is this book ties into future skills. So all future skills tie perfectly into media. And there are groups that do top 10 lists every 5 years, 2015, 2020, 2025. And creativity was number 9 in 2015. It has crept all the way up to number 2 for what any employer in the country is looking for is creativity, problem solving, collaboration. All of these, some people call them like soft skills, but they're so important for the workplace. And even if my students don't become broadcasters and end up on radio and TV, it really doesn't matter. They're learning all of those skills and they could take those into the workplace, which is so important. They really are like future skills. And again, they tie perfectly into media. Anybody could do them. And in the book, we go through planning, how to budget, how to get money for whatever your project is. Paula Neidlinger, one of the authors, did a really clever thing. She just sent the kids into town and they did commercials for the local places. She funded her TV station. Randy and Paula also have radio stations at their school, all funded by them doing commercials for local places in the community. So there's a lot of ideas in the book. The biggest chapter is curriculum, where there are ideas K through 12. We have hardware, software, everything is covered in the book. And the name of the book is Scripted. And again, I wrote it with the 2 other co-authors who are awesome. And scriptededucators.com is the website where you can find information on the book. And last important point, we have a Wakelet page that goes with the book. And we kind of wanted to future-proof the book. We don't want our book to be outdated. So we have a Wakelet companion page that goes with it. Any new tool that I find, or remote learning, which really wasn't even around when we were writing the book, believe it or not, I can just make a folder, which I have for distance learning. Now we have websites that go with distance learning, infographics that go with it. And just to keep it fresh, that's on the scriptededucators.com website.
Awesome. Well, we will link the website as well as the book. I love how you've made it just a comprehensive experience that really is foolproof for people to create a media program in their school or any sort of audio visual program in their school. I agree. Creativity is one of the most important skills, and there are so many ways to bake it into the curriculum and into distance learning using very, minimal technology. And I think remote learning has really proved that point, that you don't need a really extensive, video studio or anything like that. You can literally just use your laptop and produce a great video, and students can be creative that way. So I'm excited to dive deeper into the book and your Wakelet page. Bruce, if people read the book and want to engage with you, where can they find you?
Sure. The best place to find me is on Twitter at Reicher, BREICHER. The best place for the book is scriptededucators.com. And we also have a Twitter page. We have all different types of social media, but the Twitter page is scriptededu, at scriptededu on Twitter if they want to get a hold of Randy and also Paula. That's where we post a lot of our things from. And I'm just like so excited to see what people create who have read the book and come up with ideas that we have not even thought about. And again, for everybody out there listening, because we get this question all the time, if you don't know where to start, ask your students. Every single student now, K through 12, none of them have grown up without the internet. So that's just their generation. That's in their wheelhouse of a YouTube generation. Go to them and ask them. It doesn't matter the software or hardware they use, but to create really something cool in your classroom.
Yeah, that's a great tip. We will definitely share all of that out, and we hope that you get some great feedback from teachers on projects that they have accomplished using your tips and tricks in Scripted. So thank you so much, Bruce, for being with us today to talk about your book.
Thank you.